Hi, and welcome to the In My 20s and Tired podcast. Podcast? I struggled with this last week. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I don't know if I can. So, this podcast is basically about the struggles of going through your 20s. And last week I talked about having tattoos, piercings, and colored hair, mostly as a teacher, but also whether having a tattoo, having tattoos and piercings will affect your job prospects. So I talked about that last week, and I also talked about what is going on in the world right now with the virus, everything going on, and yeah, last week I talked about the fact that I am a teacher. I teach fourth grade. I actually have my AirPods in, and I don't need to, so I'm gonna take them out so I can hear myself talk. Um, yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach fourth grade, and I recorded this last week on Saturday, and everything was still okay here in the Netherlands where I live. And then on Sunday, late in the afternoon, we got it was told to us that all schools, primary and secondary schools, were closing. And my college lectures and all my classes were already cancelled, but the primary and secondary schools were still going to be open. But now that Sunday afternoon, they said that nope, we're going to close the schools, primary schools, secondary schools, all the restaurants are going to be closed. So it was really strange. It was kind of chaotic. And then Monday morning, I actually went to the school that I teach at, even though Monday is not my my work day. But I helped my coworker, and we put together some work packages for the kids for the next 3 weeks. So we put them all together. We made a little bit of a plan for them so they would know what to do every day. And that was done on Tuesday. We were done with all of that, and the kids were coming to pick them up. Some schools were bringing them to the houses of the children, which I'm sorry, but that is too much work. As a teacher, you already work so hard. We were not about to give ourselves even more work. So yeah, that is kind of what has been going on the last week. So a little bit of an update on the news that I shared last week. And I really wanted to talk about another news story for today. So I scrolled down my local the Dutch newspaper sites, and I couldn't find anything that was not related to the virus. So, because I really don't want to talk about it anymore, everybody's already talking about it, and I am so tired of talking about it and hearing about it. I am literally just gonna talk about the weather because it was really sunny for the first day today this year, and it was great. We went on a long walk with our dog. We didn't come across anyone because we kind of took an earlier walk than our neighbors do when they walk their dogs. So it would be a little bit safer. So we walked our dog for a little bit in the sun, and it was really nice. And it just made me crave summer. I can't wait for summer. I can't wait for warmer weather, which is why today I felt a little bit better than I had all week. I am born in the summer. I was born on August 7th, so in the middle of summer, and I love the sun and I love laying in the sun. um, Last summer, I worked at a beach or on a beach at a beach restaurant, which was really fun. It was a lot of work. I already worked at a restaurant before that. I had been working there for 3 years, and then I went to work at a beach restaurant, and that was just next level. It is so busy and you are outside the whole time, so it gets extremely hot. And people, when they are hot and hungry, they become really rude. I have met some of the greatest people there, and I have met some of the worst people there. It was usually either one or the other. But the restaurant that I worked at had a really great vibe. They had a boho chic interior design, so a lot of secondhand, um, what is it called, furniture, a lot of secondhand furniture, and it just looked really cool. And it had a really nice vibe to it, so it also attracted people that kind of like that same vibe. So that is why I really enjoyed working there. And they had a couple of vegan options on their menu. So I could always eat there during my shifts. It would be no problem to make vegan food because most of the staff dishes were made vegan anyway. So it was really nice. But for this summer, I am probably gonna work, if it all still will be the same after all of this crisis and whatnot. I will probably be working at another beach restaurant at another beach. And this one is totally vegan. So everything on the menu is vegan, and I'm so excited about it. It's also even closer to my house than the other beach. So I am so excited to work there, and I'm so sad that all the restaurants are closed. I understand that they're closed. I just I couldn't wait to start working to start work yes to start working there. Even though I still have my teacher job, it's not enough for me right now um, to earn money. And I also, the teacher job ends in July. So I wouldn't have any income for like the second half of July and August. And I don't even know if I'm going to have a teaching job for next year. So it's all kind of up in the air, what's going on, what's going to happen. So I'm really excited to start another job at a vegan restaurant. There aren't many vegan restaurants here. Uh, this is probably the only one that is completely vegan. And then about 20, 20 kilometers, I think, there's a large city, Rotterdam, and they have a bunch of vegan restaurants there. But yeah, in the small town that I live, this is the only one, and the only one in the surrounding area. So I'm really excited to go work there. And I'm so excited for summer. My boyfriend made a lounge set out of pellet wood, but the pallets still being intact. So he made a great lounge set, and it's really big and it's so comfortable. We have a couple of cushions for on there, so we're really comfortable. And I just can't wait to sit in the garden on the lounge set with our dog. And I also want to start a vegetable garden. I got a bunch of seeds for tomatoes and zucchinis and maybe even carrots from my boyfriend's dad because he also has a pretty big vegetable garden at his house. So he gave me some of his spare things so I can start my own vegetable garden, and I would love to. It takes a lot of time, and I don't think my boyfriend likes the idea. He wants a little flower garden, but I really want a veggie garden. So, yeah, do I have any summer plans? Not yet, because right now we don't have any money to spend on vacation. And also, it's kind of a weird time to be thinking about vacation because you just don't know um, what's gonna happen and if all of this is gonna be over by summer. Let's just hope that it will be over, but you just don't know. So, yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about for summer. I have been finally been feeling so much better because I do struggle with seasonal affective disorder. I think it's called that. Yeah. So it hasn't been that bad this year. So I'm really happy about that. But last year, and especially the year before that, it was so bad. If you don't know what it is, it's SAD or SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And it's basically that you get depressed in winter. I mean, that's what it looks like for me. I made a video about this in my December series on my regular YouTube channel, which is called Ruby Maria. And I do makeup videos on there, sometimes food videos, mostly makeup. And I also did a video on seasonal affective disorder and kind of my experience with that. So if you're interested in hearing more on that, definitely check that video. I'll put it in the show notes. I should write that down. Then I'm gonna put that in the show notes because I know myself and I'm gonna forget. I should have I should have written it down. So wrote it down. Okay, let's see. I think that is all that I wanted to talk about regarding summer. So I think I'm gonna take a little break, a little breather, and then I'm gonna talk about the main topic, which is the quarter life crisis. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbors, I think they're having a party. They are being super loud and I can hear their music, and I don't understand why you would have a party while all of this is going on. And she works as a nurse, so you'd think she's more responsible. She would be more responsible. But then again, she blasts her music very loud all the time. So, on one hand, I'm not surprised. Kind of like the, what's it called? The I'm not surprised, but still disappointed. I saw that meme or a GIF or something about that, and I thought it was really funny. Anyway, today's main topic is the quarter life crisis. I am probably already on my fourth. So, what is a quarter life crisis? I looked it up, and according to Collins Dictionary, a quarter life crisis is a crisis that may be experienced in one's 20s, involving anxiety over the direction and quality of one's life. So, you could say that I have had a few quarter life crises. I feel like I have them almost every week or every month, but it's not really as simple as that. The first time I think I had a quarter life crisis was when I was studying journalism. I do have a degree in journalism. The college or the Dutch education system is a little bit strange and complicated, but I basically have like a lower college degree in journalism. There are also higher college journalism degree, but I have a lower one. Ooh. And I was in my last year, I had this internship where I was working 42, 43 hours a week, and I still had another job where I worked 15 hours a week because my internship didn't make me any money. And I did a lot on that internship. It was at a local kind of news TV production station, and I was producing television programs, which was really cool, and I definitely learned a lot. I met a lot of people, and I did some really cool things that I'm really proud of, but I did just too much. There were too many tasks that were handed to me that shouldn't have. And then it wasn't a full burnout, but if I was gonna continue on, the way that I was, it definitely would have been a burnout, but I was in pretty bad condition. I was lucky that I was already in therapy for my anxiety. So we could talk about my little almost burnout. And then I could finish my internship early because I had already made so many hours. Sometimes I made hours on the weekends as well. And I could finish my internship early. And I went away for a week. I got my first tattoo. And then I didn't know what to do with my life because I didn't want to go on in journalism. I felt horrible. I felt so overworked. It wasn't funny. I shouldn't do this. I am so distracted. I'm distracted because my neighbors are being loud and I can almost hear what they're saying, and it makes me afraid of speaking up to record this because I'm afraid that they can hear that I'm talking even though I'm home alone. Okay. So I had a gap year after I got my journalism degree. I did an at-home study to become a life coach, because if you don't know what to do with your life, might as well help others figure out what they should do with their life, right? It was so stupid. I actually finished the course. I don't have the certification, but that's only because I'm too lazy to apply for it. But I could be a certified life coach. I started a company, I guess. I never had a client because I didn't advertise for my company, but I was blogging a little bit, and I was trying to write a book, but it was just, I thought that was what I wanted to do with my life. I thought that I didn't want to work for anybody, so I wanted to be my own boss, because that was kind of coming up on the internet. Everybody wanted to be their own boss. Everybody wanted to have their own company and be a boss lady. And I even listened to that podcast. I watched the Netflix little series that they had, the boss lady thing, or girl boss, I think. I read the book, but in the end, I don't think I'm meant to be like a girl boss, a boss lady, or my own boss. So after my little gap year and looking up a bunch of studies, because I knew that I wanted to be something, I wanted to help people, which is why I wanted to be a life coach in the first place. I wanted to help people so they wouldn't feel the way that I felt when I almost burned out, because it was really horrible. It was such a weird feeling. It was like I couldn't even focus on text on my computer. I couldn't read because my vision was so blurred, and that had nothing to do with my actual vision. It was just my brain that was so tired that basically told me to stop working. But I didn't, because I didn't think that I could, because I had to finish my internship to get my degree, even though they were putting me through way too much at an internship. So that is kind of my quarter life crisis. And then every time when my seasonal depression hits, I don't necessarily get anxious, but I feel like what I'm doing is not what I should be doing. Even though I am really enjoying teaching, I really like the interaction with kids, and kids are great, so I really enjoy my time teaching them. But sometimes I feel like I should be something else, not something more, but just something else. So I literally have this list that I keep, and then I delete it, and then I create a new list of other career options. I have made that list so many times before. Let me actually, because of course, for my last seasonal depression, I made another list. it wasn't even during my seasonal depression. So it was what 1.5 months ago, 2 months ago that I wrote up this list. So if I end up not being a teacher, I would love to be a hairstylist or a hairdresser and a makeup artist, because I do really like doing my own makeup. I like doing other people's makeup. So I would love to be a hairdresser and a makeup artist, but focusing on cruelty-free and vegan beauty products. So I wrote down how I would like to do that I would like to start my own salon, even though that is so much work and so much money that is going to cost. But that would be so amazing, even if I think about it right now. Even though I love teaching, when I think about starting my own salon, I don't have a hairdresser license, by the way, but I would really, really love to get it. Even if I end up not starting my own salon, I would just love to be able to learn how to do hair, because I love hair. I dye my own hair. I don't cut my own hair because I don't trust myself with that. But I would love to learn how to do hair and hair products and such. I really think are interesting. So that is one thing that is on my future career ideas list. And then another one is, how do I translate this? Because I wrote them down in Dutch. Basically help people with their weight and help them with their food, which is another study that I'd have to follow. I really enjoy learning. Okay, so, and I'm probably gonna make an episode about this, about astrology, but my birth chart, I have an Aries moon, and one of the things that means is that I can be really impulsive, and I have a lot of inspiration and motivation to start new projects. But it's really hard for me to actually finish them. So I loved starting this study to become a teacher. I loved starting the study to become a life coach. And then I finished it. I finished it late, the life coach study. And I've been thinking about quitting this teacher study so many times now. But I want to make it through because I'm already in my 3rd year. What am I going to do? Stop right now and not have this degree? I'd rather have the diploma, the piece of paper to prove that I actually did all of this. But then if I want to help people with their weight and with their food and whatnot, I'm going to have to do another study. But it's really interesting to me because I know that vegan food can be so helpful, or plant-based diet can be so helpful for your body and your health and your mental health, that I would love to help people do that. Then another thing is something that I have wanted to be ever since I was little. I wanted to be a writer because, I studied journalism. I have a journalism degree. I know that I can write. I really enjoy writing. I haven't been writing a lot for a while, not in Dutch anyway. And I would really love to write biographies, to interview people and write down people's life stories, because that was my favorite part of journalism, was to interview people and to have people tell their own stories. After the journalism study, I also looked at a kind of film videography study, because I would have loved to create documentaries. That is something that I would still love to do. It's not even on this list, but it could probably be on there with writer. Just interview people, have people tell their stories is something that I really like. I would like to write biographies, just stories of just regular human beings. I don't know if that sounds appealing, but just stories of regular people. I think that would be really cool. And also just stories. I have a lot of ideas for short stories that I would love to write. And actually, while we're in quarantine, I might as well start writing. I actually wrote it down on my to-do list to do today. So I'm really excited to start that. So yeah, writing is one of my passions. It is the entire reason that I got a feather tattoo. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm showing you my feather tattoo. It's a quill because ever since I was 8 years old, I started writing and I wanted to be a writer, and maybe I still could be. It's really annoying having so many interests. Having so many interests. And then one of the things that I wrote down earlier this week was that it might be a good idea if I get into politics. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it's such a good idea. I don't know if I would start my own political party or if I would join another one. And I kind of think that when I get paid later this week, I'm gonna get a membership with a political party here in the Netherlands. It's basically called the Animal Party, and it has a really unfortunate name because they don't stand just for the animals. They stand for so much more, and I really like what they stand for, and I really relate to that. So I would love to support them, and I would love to get more involved. I don't think I could make politics my career, just because politicians get so much shit. There's this one politician here in the Netherlands. He has been working his ass off during this crisis, and earlier this week he just collapsed during a debate because he had been working so much, and it was so kind of sad to see that he was working so much for us. I don't even know what political party he's from, and I don't care because he works so hard to kind of keep us all safe and to help get better solutions for what's going on right now. And he just collapsed, and it was really sad. And of course there were some politicians that were on their phone during this debate when he actually collapsed, and they didn't seem to care that he did. And those are the political parties that I will never support because they are run by assholes. Okay, but I'm not going to get into politics right now. I'm actually not that much of a political person. I don't know that much about politics. Politics isn't as big here in Netherlands as it is in the US. So, let's see. I found an article. Let's see. It's Amy Rebecca, and this I will link it in the show notes or in the description of the YouTube video. So it is 10 signs you're probably having a quarter-life crisis. 1. You're questioning your entire life and the point of it all. Ooh, I have that so often. I don't know, I'm doubting whether I'm on my right path, if I'm actually doing the things that I should be doing, if teaching is actually the thing that I should be doing. And I mean, I help people, there's a very large shortage of teachers here in the Netherlands. So I am needed as a teacher, but then sometimes I kind of don't think about that, and I just think about my own needs. Yeah. The second sign, you are only in your mid-20s and you're scared your best years are already behind you. Oh, this is a personal attack. So I am 26, and many of my of the students in my class are way younger than me, or like 6 years younger. And I feel like I've already lived my best years. I don't go out anymore. It's Saturday night. I'm recording a podcast about quarter-life crisis. I don't care about going out. I don't care about all of that. I am already settled. I have a boyfriend. We live together. We have a dog together. So I sometimes feel like not necessarily my best years are behind me, but that there are some things that I don't get to do anymore. And I know that it's not true, but I do feel that way. sometimes. The third sign is your job feels like a prison sentence. I can definitely imagine some people feeling this way, and that this is the reason that your quarter life crisis starts. Can you imagine going through college, going through all 4 years of college, and then ending up in a job that you studied for, that you worked so hard for, only to be extremely bored or uninterested by your job, like only a few years later? I am so sorry for you if that is how you feel. I don't feel like that. I might have felt like that if I went on, not necessarily in journalism. I mean, journalism is so broad. There are so many options that you can go for with journalism, but I don't think I could have gotten a job, one that I would have really, really liked with the degree that I had earned. Fourth sign, you're racked with indecision. Indecision is my brand. I am always indecisive. I always choose last minute what kind of video or podcast episode I want to record. I keep not knowing what I want to do with my career. I'm even indecisive about the eye makeup that I'm gonna wear in the morning. I'm indecisive about everything. So let's see, what does she write about it? On the one hand, you want to be one of those people who you read about who quits their job to sell coconuts on the beach on some tropical island. Who wants that? Who wants to sell coconuts for a living? Okay, on the other hand, you want to climb the corporate career ladder and earn a 6-figure salary. I wouldn't mind a 6-figure salary. Then again, you also want to settle down and do the family thing with an SUV and a cute dog. Yes, I would. The reality is, you have no idea what you want. That's true. That is very true. The fifth sign, your Facebook feed is nothing but wedding shots and baby pictures. Okay, so like I said, I'm 26 and people my age are already married or getting married. They already have babies. They have secure jobs. And here I am, still studying, still in school, trying to become something. I live on my own. You know, I have a stable relationship. We've been together for almost 4.5 years. We have a dog. So I have a little bit of stability and I feel a little bit grown up, but it's so strange watching the lives of other people go on like that. The sixth sign, in fact, all social media causes you an alarming amount of anxiety, but you just can't stop scrolling. No. I mean, I am not that bothered by social media because I know people only put on the best parts of themselves and their lives. For instance, if I see that a 20-year-old just had a baby, of course they're only gonna post the cute baby pictures. They're not gonna post on Instagram or Facebook, oh my god, this baby kept me up all night, I hate him. They might think that, but they don't post that on Facebook. I am glad that I don't have a baby right now. It's not the right situation to have a baby. Okay, I'm gonna have a little break because my camera is about to stop recording. And then we're gonna go on for the other signs to see if you might also have a quarter life crisis. Sign number 7. 15-year-old you would be judging you right now, but also 15-year-old me judged everyone. 15-year-old me isn't the person that I want to be right now. So this is a weird list of signs. I closely related to the first couple, but now I don't know. Not feeling it so much. Number 8, you're scared you're wasting the best years of your life. Absolutely. I feel like the 20s should be, or your 20s should be the best years of your life. Yet I started a podcast about being in my 20s and being tired, which is about the struggles of going through your 20s, because I feel like going through your 20s is hard. And I feel like I'm wasting my best years by being in college, by not earning money, by not starting a family, by not having a stable income and a stable home. And it sounds so weird because I don't have to have all of this in my 20s, you know? I can have them like at the end of my 20s or start of my 30s. I don't want to think about my 30s yet, but you know, in the start of my 30s. I don't have to have all of that right now. I feel like maybe social media does influence this, but social media makes you think that everybody has their lives together at 20 years old, 21, 22 years old, and that is just not the reality and not the case for so many people. So I'm just kind of trying to talk myself out of feeling bad about all of this, and I hope I'm helping you too. Let's see, number 9. You feel compelled to make bizarre life choices that can't be explained just to break the monotony. Yeah, that is kind of true. I already made not really bizarre life choices, but I left my parents' house. I got my own place. That is a big life choice. A smaller life choice was that I went on a little bit of a break after my final internship. It wasn't really a bizarre life choice, but I really needed to get away from everything. Yeah, I don't know if starting this podcast is a bizarre life choice. I don't think so. Maybe starting that life coach study was a bizarre life choice, which is just so ironic that it was a life coach study, that I wanted to coach other people's lives when mine was just so great. Oh, and number 10, nothing fills the void. Sure, she writes, but none of those weird and wonderful ideas actually bring you any lasting happiness or a sense of fulfillment. Yeah, maybe. I am just trying to gather my thoughts here from this article because she hits a lot of good points and then also a couple of things she wrote I don't relate with, but maybe you do, especially the social media thing. So, what else did I want to talk about? I already talked about my own quarter life crisis idea. So basically, what can you do? Let's just talk about that. If you are currently going through a quarter life crisis, what can you do? It definitely depends on, let's say, how bad it is. Because if you are really anxious or really depressed, I would definitely say get professional help. I had professional help during, it wasn't officially like a quarter life crisis. It was sort of a burned out thing. So I got professional help then, and it really helped me, and I got better. I wasn't burnt out anymore, and therapy really helped with that. Another thing is to just, and for me this always helps, make lists. Like I made my future career ideas list, and it totally depends on your current situation, because I am not in a job right now, and my situation right now is not secure or stable in any way. I don't have a stable income or anything like that. So I can't just pick up anything, let go of what I'm doing right now. I can't do that. But maybe for some of you, even though you do have a stable income, it feels like you can't either. But you can, I think, try to look at what it is that you would like to do and maybe kind of dive into that. So let's say, in my instance, I want to be a hairdresser. Maybe just go to your salon and go talk to the hairdressers. What do they do all day? Why do they want to be a hairdresser? Do they like it? Just kind of talk to people who are in the career that you would like to be in. I think that is a good idea. what else can you do? Well, like make the list. Maybe sometimes creating the list and looking at it every now and then and thinking, oh, I'm so glad that I am not in that profession. Like I wrote down politics earlier this week because I really thought that being in politics would be good for me. But now I'm reading it and I'm like, ooh, I don't think I could be in politics. I don't think I could work there. So sometimes writing it down and not thinking about it for a little bit and then going back to it kind of helps the what ifs, you know? I feel like the quarter life crisis is a very big what if crisis or moment. What if I wasn't in a profession that I am now? What if I didn't go back to school those 2.5 years ago and I just did something in journalism, or I ended up being a life coach, you know? I feel like it's a lot of what if, but I don't think you'd want to live your life in a what if. You know? You are where you are now because you were supposed to be there, and I know it sounds super spiritual, and I'm really not that much of a spiritual person, but I do believe that you are where you are now, where you are because you are supposed to be there. And if the situation you are in right now is not ideal, then find a way to get out of there. And it sounds so easy, I know that. I can't speak to your personal situation because I don't know you. I'm sorry. I wish I knew you. Let me know in a comment below who you are because I would love to get to know people who listen to this podcast. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I think having things to look forward to or having things to dream about isn't bad, you know? I like thinking about what it would be like to have my own salon and to do people's hair and to do people's makeup. But I'm not letting it distract and demotivate me from what I'm doing right now, which is teaching, because I am needed at my job right now. So I'm not gonna give up on it, you know? And yeah, that is all I wanted to say. Just try to make positive changes for yourself. If I want to be a hairdresser, there are at-home studies that I can do to become a hairdresser. I don't necessarily have to give up my teaching job just to learn how to do hair. I don't have to give it up. I can do it on the side, you know? I can just cut families and friends' hair. And you know, maybe that is enough. And if it's not, I'll figure it out from there. But yeah, don't try to take your quarter life crisis too seriously. If it is becoming too anxious and you are really not feeling okay, please get professional help. I would always recommend that, even though, you know, I am a life coach. Life coaches are not professional help, okay? You can't go into therapy or get out of a life coach session that you can out of therapy. It doesn't work like that. Whew, okay. I think I said everything that I wanted to say. Thank you so much for listening. This episode or this podcast is available on YouTube. It is also available on Spotify. I upload all of this on Anchor. I will put some links in the show notes or in the description of the video, wherever you are listening to this. Yeah, let me know. You can either write a comment on my YouTube channel in this the video that goes with this episode. But I also made an email address. Oh my god, what is my email address? Because I created a website. I didn't put anything on there yet. But let me see, what is my email address? This is not it because I made a Gmail, but I also have another one. Come on, what is it called? Oh, it is called mail at inmy20sandtired.com. And in my 20s and tired is just written out fully, so no numbers or something. I will also put it in the show notes, in the description. I would love to know if you are willing to share. Did you ever go through a quarter life crisis? What was it like? How did you get out, if you got out of it? Did you do anything with it? Did you make any big life-changing decisions? I would love to know. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any requests for topics, if you know anyone who would make a great guest on this podcast, because I would love to interview people. Maybe you would like to be a guest on this podcast. If you think that you have something valuable to share, I would always love to hear it. You can email me at mail@inmy20sandtired.com, or you can just go to inmy20sandtired.com, and I have some contact forms there that you can fill out if you're interested. So again, thank you so much for watching or listening, and I really hope you tune in next time. Bye bye.